That I love you. Have I told you there's no one else above you? Fill my heart with gladness, take away all my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. For the morning sun in all its glory greets the day with hope and comfort too. You fill my life with laughter, somehow make it better, ease my troubles, that's what you do. There's a love divine, and it's yours and it's mine, like the sun. At the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to one, oh, to one. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away all my sins, ease my troubles, that's what you do. There's a love divine, and it's yours and it's mine, like the sun. And at the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one, oh, to the one. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away all my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. Take away all my sadness, fill my heart with gladness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. Oh, you take away all my sadness, fill my heart with gladness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. No, baby, baby, have I told you that I love you? Fill my heart with gladness.
When you ask how I've been here without you, I like to say I've been fine, and I do. But we both that's not quite true. Some days a diamond, some days a stone, sometimes a hard times won't leave me alone. Sometimes a cold wind blows a chill in my bones. Some days a diamond, some days a stone. Now the face that I see in my mirror, more and more is a stranger to me. More and more I can see there's a danger in becoming what I never thought I'd be. Some days a diamond, some days a stone, sometimes a hard time won't leave me alone. Sometimes a cold wind blows a chill in my bones. Some days a diamond, some days a stone. Some days a diamond, some days a stone. Sometimes a hard times won't leave me alone. Sometimes a cold wind blows a chill in my bones. Some days a diamond, some days a stone. Some days a diamond, some days a stone. Sometimes a hard
There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you'll never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. No, they won't win.
eyes cried in the rain. When we kissed goodbye and parted, I knew we'd never meet again. Love is like a dying ember, and only memories remain. And through the ages I'll remember blue eyes crying in the rain. Someday when we meet up yonder, we'll stroll hand in hand again in a land that knows no part. Blue eyes cry in the rain.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my
Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. And what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about this squeaky wheel. Always get in the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Yes, and show them the way that you feel. I know things are gonna be just fine if you only will. What I'd like to do to you, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Yeah, show them the way that you feel. Whoa, yeah, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you'll feel better right away with love. Don't take much to do. Sell your pride. Shower the people you love with love. I say, show them the way that you feel. They say you never shower the people you love with love. They say the rain must fall. Just like a pouring rain. People you love with love. Make it rain. Show them the way that you feel. Make it rain. Shower the people you love with love. The sunshine. Show them the way that you feel. Oh yes, make it rain. Shower the people you love with love. The sunshine. Show them the way that you feel. Right here. Shower the people you love with You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Come, let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you. Let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. Let me give my life to you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again.
prayer for you. She threw her arms around him, whispered, God will keep us free. They could hear the riders coming. He said, this is my last fight. If they take me back to Texas, they won't take me back alive. There were 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne. And 7 Spanish angels took another angel home.
He reached down and sniffed the gun that lay smoking in his hand. She said, Father, please forgive me. I can't make it without my man. And she knew the gun was empty, and she knew she couldn't win. But her final prayer was answered when the rifles fired again. There were 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the gun. When the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne. And 7 Spanish angels took another angel home.
There were 7 Spanish angels at the
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out a cigarette, faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the deal is done.
We follow a pathway that has no end as we travel through life day by day, together with those who are dear to our hearts and are there by our side, come what may. But sometimes a loved one must travel ahead for reasons that aren't always clear, and we're left behind to continue along, missing one who is no longer here. And while it may seem that the pathway has stopped and it merely has rounded a bend, our loved one goes on to a much brighter place down the pathway that has no end. On behalf of Jodie, Julie, Annette, Leslie and their families, I warmly welcome you as we come together to honour, to say goodbye and celebrate John's life. We also welcome those who are unable to be with us today and are joining us through live stream. My name is Delma Carpenter, a funeral celebrant, and along with Brendan and his colleagues from Parkside Funerals, we feel privileged to have been asked to conduct this service for you. Please, if you haven't done so already, now's a really good time for you to turn your mobile phones onto silent or off. Thank you. So what was life about for John? It was about his love of his family, especially his late wife Josephine and his mum Daphne, who is here with us today. It was about his enjoyment of food, from French toast to sausages and eggs to mint drumsticks. He liked them all. In early times it was about going fishing in the rivers and to Fern Glade with his father and taking his son Leslie with him. In later times it was about having a bet on the horses every day and watching the racing channel to see if he was lucky enough to have a win. When you talk about John, you will remember his happy nature, his sense of humour and his tormenting. He was an easygoing bloke who had a kind heart and would help anyone out where he could. John was a person who called a spade and said what he thought, and there were times when his manner was abrupt, but he never meant anything by it. He was a loving, caring father who provided well for his family and would do anything for them. He was also a proud pop to his 13 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. John had an aneurysm over 20 years ago, and this impacted his cognitive functioning. It was in 2017, after the passing of his wife Josie, that he went to live at Yarrandoo in Somerset for the care and the support that he needed. John sadly passed away on Monday, the 2nd of August 2021, after having a stroke. Even when death is expected, and no matter how well prepared we are, there is a profound sense of loss when it happens. It can turn our whole world upside down, and we need to process that accompanying grief, and this takes time. It is important to allow yourselves that time for grief for the one who was so special to you. So today, as we pay tribute and share this time remembering John, a unique and special person, this is the first step in that process. And so we come to say goodbye, or do we? A very wise person once said that someone only dies if they die in your heart. And I ask you to remember that when you are missing John, the relationship you had with him, you still have. like love that will never die. I'd like to share a poem with you. It's one that Eli has chosen, and it may be how the family are feeling today. I wish I could see you one more time come walking through the door, but I know that is impossible. I will hear your voice no more. I know you can feel my tears and you don't want me to cry, yet my heart is broken because I can't understand why. Someone so precious had to die. I pray that God will give me strength and somehow get me through as I struggle with this heartache that came when I lost you. I'd like now to share with you John's eulogy as written by his family. John Leslie Woods, born in Wynyard on the 13th of December 1952, and John was the third of 4 children born to Leslie and Daphne. John had 2 older sisters, Jeanette and Christine, and a younger brother, Kerry. When John was born, he was very ill and had to be christened as they did not think he would survive. As a young boy, the family lived in Haybridge, where John and his siblings liked walking up the big hill and then coming back down on car tyres. After John's parents separated, John went to live with his dad in South Rana, where he loved to go rabbiting. When his siblings came to stay on weekends, they always got into mischief, and John's sister remembered that Mrs. Walker would often end up chasing them with her walking stick. When John got older, he started going out bush with his dad, and one day he fell and broke his leg and didn't realise until the next day when he woke up and couldn't walk on it. John's first serious they were meant to be together, and the wild boy John became an instant family man. He didn't totally change his ways, but he did love being a father to Jodie, Julie and Kevin, so much that they decided to add to the family, so that's when Annette came along, who was pretty soon followed by the arrival of Leslie. And somewhere in between they found time to get married, and this completed their family. Family life often involved time spent with extended family. Annette recalls many occasions when the family would pile into Dad's old Valiant and head to Fern Glade, where they'd have barbecues and spend the day swimming. Other times they would go to Aldina, where they would lie on the back of the Valiant and John would drive them down the dirt road and they'd be slipping and sliding everywhere. And it also tells of the time when growing up they had ducks as pets that they loved very much. One day after being at school, they came home to have duck for dinner. They soon realised it was their pet duck. They all lost it at Dad and called him murderer. He was the only one that ate duck for dinner that night. John did most of the cooking for the family and loved to feed them all sorts of different foods, including ox tongue and things like that. The kids would come home starving hungry, with the house smelling amazing from something their dad was cooking, only to find, to their disgust, it was little crumbed sheep brains fried in butter, which was definitely one of John's favourite, probably because he didn't have to share. Leslie recalls the days of his dad working at Lactos and how his dad used to bring chocolate home every day, well, almost every day. Leslie said one day his dad came home from work, and when he checked his work bag for chocolate and didn't find any, all the kids cracked it with him. He was tormenting and went to the car and grabbed the chocolate that he was hiding. John always thought he knew the best way of doing things, like the time he yelled at the boys to stop when they were throwing matches into a tin filled with powder from firecrackers. He said, "I'll show you how to do it, boys," and stood with his head directly over the tin and dropped a match into the tin, and boom it went, and a massive flame hit him in the face, and the boys thought they'd killed their dad. Well, Dad wasn't dead, but he was sure sore for a while and did look funny with no eyebrows. John spent many years as a showy travelling the state during the carnival season, often bringing home mates that he'd met during the season. After work life ended for John and boredom kicked in, he discovered the horses and boy did he love having a bet, spending plenty of time sitting in his car in the driveway with the radio going to the horse racing. We thought we nearly lost John a few years ago when he suffered a brain aneurysm. Luckily he survived, but having it left him with the issues, the biggest being confusion. He often forgot things while we are sure this must have been frustrating for him. It was sometimes funny. One day he left the house, drove his car into town, then forgetting that he'd drove his car downtown, he caught the bus home. And even through the confusion, he and Josie got to enjoy, oh no, I've missed a bit, and he drove the car downtown and caught the bus home. Yes, and then realised he'd left the car downtown. Even through the confusion, he and Josie got to enjoy going to church together on Sundays, and John still managed to volunteer at the Caprona Football Club as their timekeeper. Life changed for John in 2015 when he lost Josie unexpectedly. He never enjoyed life the same without her. John did manage to find some happy moments and met some wonderful new people at Yarrandoo Nursing Home, where he spent the last 4 years. We are sure he would be happy now that he's reunited with his beloved wife, Josie. I'd like to invite Brian Halpin forward, and he's going to share a tribute with us. Is Brian here? No, he's not here. Brian was out at Yarrandoo with you, John. Yes, yeah. There must have been some hold-up. They say that a picture paints 1,000 words, and that is so true. Each one of the photos that you're about to see has a story behind it, and not only does it show who and what were important in John's life, but it also shows the times that he lived through. So let's now take a look through the lens of a camera while we listen to some of John's favourite music.
Situation should keep us separated. You know the world won't fall apart, and you will free the beautiful bird that's caught inside your heart. Can't you hear her? She cries so loud, as the wild note over water and cloud. That's the way it's gonna be. Until you go, and I'll be right there by your side. And even then, whisper the wind, and she will carry up your right. I hear all the people of the world in one bird's lonely cry. See them trying every way they know how to make their spirit fly. Can't you see him? He's down on the ground. It's a broken wing, looking all around. That's the way it's gonna be, little darling. You go riding on the horses, yeah, yeah. Way up in the sky.
rush of day, when the heat of a rolling wind can't be turned away, an enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we got this far. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's led to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. There's a time for everyone if they only learn that the twisting kaleidoscope moves us all in turn. There's a rhyme and reason to the wild outdoors when the heart of the star-crossed Voyager beats in time with yours. And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we got this far. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's led to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best.
I'd like to share another poem with you. It's in your service sheet and the family have chosen it to be read today. Forever free. As we say farewell, please feel no sorrow, for the time on this earth we only borrow. Lucky was I, my heart had a home, and with you by my side I feel not alone. You filled my life with happiness and light, my soul shall remain eternally bright. Love cannot end, it cannot disappear. I will always be with you, I will always be near. And now that my journey has come to its end, please know and take comfort in this, my friend. For me, for my life, please do not grieve, for now I remain forever free. There is the opportunity to continue this celebration of John's life and recall memories and time shared with him and the family warmly invite you to join them here at Parkside for refreshments following the burial service. The family have asked me on their behalf to thank the nursing staff at the ICU at the Northwest Regional Hospital for their care of John and the support that they showed the family. They'd also like to thank Yarrandoo for their wonderful care of John for the past 4 years. They'd like to express their sincere thanks for your presence here today. It is so greatly appreciated. Very shortly we'll be taking John to his final resting place at the Burney Lawn Cemetery next door. You're most welcome to join us, but if you're unable to come with us, you are more than welcome to wait here at Parkside for the family to return. Please stand if you are able.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, you raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up